Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. I'm Reed Price, and I'm happy to have you here. We're going to be talking with Ollie and Janice Pedersen about an old Norwegian tradition, which is raising its suggested idea again. It's a form of resistance. Before we get to that, though, I want to thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island for sponsoring Something to Talk About. They offer independent living and assisted living and a vibrant memory care community up on Rolling Bay. They have day stay and respite care programs. And if you call 206-594-1010, ask for Celia or Jamie, they'll treat you to a free lunch or dinner as part of a tour. You can also check out their website at fieldstonecommunities.com. And we would like to, as we always do, acknowledge that we are meeting on the ancestral homeland of the Suquamish people, the people of the clear salt water, who have lived on the waters of the Salish Sea since time immemorial. We honor them, and we are grateful for their teaching to us of ways to be better stewards of these lands and waters where we live. Let's see, Ollie and Janice, I'm trying to think. I guess that you joined the senior center and Janice reached out to me and said, I've got a story I want to share. So thank you for offering that.
You're welcome.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the tradition of the paperclip?
Well, what happened, I was reading a book not too long ago about a Norwegian family that immigrated to the United States, and they had 9 children, so they had to send 3 of their children back to Norway. But during that time, World War II broke out. And so I was reading about the Norwegian resistance and how the teachers and students chose to wear the simple paperclip as a symbol to represent resistance towards the Nazi occupation of their country. And as I read that, I thought, I come from Norwegian ancestry. My husband also, his father was born in Norway. We've been to Norway several times, and we have visited their museums and read a great deal about the Norwegian resistance and how successful they were, but doggedly determined to not accept what the Nazis were asking of them. And so I just thought, during this political upheaval in our country, that would be a wonderful way for all of us to also show and have a silent protest by wearing a paperclip, a simple paperclip, because it was already a symbol used that successfully indicating, who they could trust, they could identify, but also a symbol we could unify and rally around during these times. So my husband and I decided, let's start reinvigorate the Norwegian resistance by starting the paperclip resistance movement in our country. And actually, we've already gone into Canada. We were just there this past weekend, and now people up there are also aware of what we're doing, and everybody really seems to embrace the idea because it's such a simple way of showing resistance to authoritarian governments.
A colleague of mine was saying that he heard somebody on Tom Hartman over the weekend talking about this paperclip resistance. That wasn't one of you, was it?
Well, I don't know how the message has gone out. We have been interviewed by different papers, and we've talked about this. So we've been on Facebook pages. Just recently in Canada, they had a newspaper article that was written about us and the movement, and also it's gone out on Facebook. So whether or not that started with us, we're not sure, but we would love to see this go nationwide.
Yeah, well, I guess that's how things that go viral. You don't know where it starts to spread. Did you have something to add, Ollie?
Well, I was just going to say that this is the way that we envision this thing, and that we hope that this thing moves kind of organically, and starting very small, individual to individual. And because we think that, and we believe that the real power in our country is with each individual, and seeing them start to bind together and create a very strong force of unity. Of course, initially it'll have to be not just unity, but a real pushback, a real resistance to show that there is a significant force out here that wants to resist a lot of these unfair, illegal, improper stances and changes that are being forced on us and the rest of the world as well. So I love the way that this is moving. We'd much rather it move from the community, small community, and spread out, rather than try to initially contact someone at the top of government, or the top of some kind of industry, and have it move down.
Well, certainly over the last weekend, there were lots of small actions. There were people stepping out in Rapid City or Fargo or Kalispell, and saying, we would like the way this is going to be rethought, and now. And that's a grassroots movement, which I guess is the kind of thing you're talking about. Do you have any understanding or reflection you can give on how something as simple as a paperclip made a difference in Norway?
Go ahead, Ollie.
Well, I think not just in Norway, but everywhere, when things such as what is happening in our country come out, and certainly in Norway, when you had the hundreds of thousands of Nazi troops coming into that country, there had to be a significant amount of fear, trepidation, and an unknowing what to do and who to trust. And so their idea was to come up with a symbol, some kind of symbol that would not only just unify people, but that would identify each other as someone that they could trust and talk with about what was happening. And I think that's the same thing that's happening here as well. I mean, we've seen a lot of fear, especially with older people. They want to come out. They really feel a need to be a part of some form of pushback or resistance, but they're afraid to do so. And so each and every time that we've presented this little idea, this little symbol that represents a unification of feeling, that they've embraced that, and it helps them to feel a part of this movement. And I think that's valuable.
And so oftentimes, Reed, we'll hand paper clips to somebody, they'll start crying just to have something that they can wear that represents their feelings and helps them to kind of comfort them from their fears. My sister helped us design the paperclip hat, and she's in Montana, in Fort Benton, and that's considered the birthplace of Montana. And so she started as just one person in that town protesting. She would put out her sign, put it on her truck, leave her truck parked for a few days. And as time went by, several people said, we'd like to join. And she has now a large group of individuals in that little hometown in Fort Benton supporting her. And she had a woman who was using her walker this past Saturday, and she was 91 years old. And Bonnie gave her a paperclip. And again, she started crying and saying, "Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for giving me something to symbolize my feelings." And so it's been a powerful, powerful small grassroots movement for us. And then we see the power that is exchanged, and the camaraderie and the shared values. You know, it's a topic of conversation. It's unique. It's from Norway.
That the best part, it's from Norway,
Yeah.
which as I understand, not the paperclip we're familiar with, but one very similar was first
Yeah.
created in Norway.
Yes.
So
Right.
it kind of had some
Exactly.
national patriotic
Right.
bent to it when it was introduced, right?
Yep. And the
That's
really
right.
the really great thing doing this podcast locally, and we were interviewed by the Kitsap Sun, is that it is a local grassroots movement, but Ollie's father was born in Norway, emigrated at the turn of the century to Bainbridge Island. Then he went off to fight in World War I, World War II, and the Korean War for the protection of democracy. And so for us, it's visceral, it's baked into who we are. And his father died when he was only 4. So the sacrifice that Ollie can speak to that, that is a real strengthening resolve for us, that we want to be those people that continue with helping to protect our democracy.
For sure. Yeah.
So do you want to say a little bit about your dad or your grandfather?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to. He came over to Bainbridge when he was 11. He was born in 1896, Reed, if you can believe that. And don't I look good for being 102?
Well,
And-
that's about the time that my grandmother was born, coming up from California in a covered wagon.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was somewhere between the age of 16 and 18. He wanted to be a part of the U.S. resistance against the growing this growing tide of Nazism. He was too young. He wasn't accepted over here in terms of joining into any kind of service, and so he went over to England to join up with the Merchant Marines. And then when England entered the war,
World War I.
World War I, this is, he was part of the naval services over there, and they used those boats in the same way that we used our Merchant Marine in the Second World War. They equipped them with some guns, and they used the boats for troop movements and supply movements. And he became quite familiar with steam-powered boats over there, became quite an engineer. And so when he returned here to this country, then he joined up with a Merchant Marine, and then and went around the world quite a number of times. My mother told me 49 times he went around the world. Then when World War II broke out, he was working with the President lines, the USS President Adams, and they converted that vessel and other vessels over to wartime use, and equipped them with some guns, various types of guns. And those, there were 4 vessels that worked together in tandem during that war. and they became known as the Unholy Four. It's quite a well-known name or title. They got that name because when they crossed the international date line, they moved from Saturday to Monday, and so skipping Sunday, someone came up with the name Unholy Four, and those four participated in virtually every single major battle in the South Pacific. And then, so his life really, Reed, was almost completely given over to the preservation of democracy and all of our freedoms. And every time I think of him, which is often, I think about all of our forefathers and all of our parents and their parents and all of the struggles that they went through, not just to create this wonderful country of ours, but to sustain the freedoms that we all enjoy so much. And so Jan and I feel very committed, yeah, and moved to do whatever we can in any small way to help in this effort, and to try to involve as many people as possible and to bring some kind of comfort to them.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people find this simple act and not a very, it's not a confrontational one.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As you say, comforting, or feel like you can do something, you can say something somewhat gently, but with with a purpose.
Yeah. And what I loved is they referred to the paperclip as the silent protest. And so we oftentimes see people already wearing one, and it's just kind of this nod to the fact that that's what they want as well. They want our democracy to be able to sustain itself. And so we're fighting for that in any way that we can. We've created with Brian, who does, I think, works with you, Reed. He said to say hello, but he just created a website for us. We're slowly, kind of ramping up for if this does become something larger than ourselves, or if it's something where people want more information. So we have a website that was just launched today, called the paperclipresistance.com. So, and when we approached Brian and Myrna, they were excited to be a part of this, and they're helping us to design that. So it just seems like every door opens for us. We ended up, speaking in front of 1,000 Canadians 2 days ago, and it wasn't a planned situation. And Ollie and I were accidentally at a rally in Victoria in front of their government building, and we asked if we could speak, and the Canadians gave us permission. And it was life-altering to see how gracious our neighbors who we've abandoned took us in and cheered us on and came up, and they too were so sorry, but they're also so hurt and so angry at what we have done to our ally that has been there for us for decades, for centuries. And so it's something we can do. It's something we can share with them. And so we told everybody, wear a paperclip. And they were all very receptive.
And I think we were talking about your plans to try to have some sort of an in-person gathering here on the island pretty soon.
Yes, April 17th, Kevin is going to hold a talk down at the Linwood Theater in the evening. And so he's invited us to come and talk to them about that, about the paperclip resistance.
So that's the 17th, sometime in the evening
Mhm.
at the theater.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's correct.
yeah.
Okay. There are a few people on this call. Is there anybody who has a question or comment that they'd like to make? Yes, Lawrence.
Wow, we're impressed and duly impressed. And we'll get on your website and we want to join the movement. And it is a grassroots movement and we love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Wonderful.
so much.
Thank you. And
Great to see you.
we figure if pickleball can start on Bainbridge, so can the paperclip movement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
And-
Yeah.
And Joan, I think you have something to put in here.
You bet I have. I'm Canadian also, and I'm 91 years old, and I think this is the greatest thing that ever happened to this island, starting this up. So let's go.
Let's go. Oh,
Thank you.
if you're on our
You're the
team,
best.
we're good.
I love it.
And there's
I'll help you too, but I can't, except I'm in a walker, but that's okay. I got a mouth.
well,
Wow, I wish I
think,
had your energy.
I think Jan was talking about Donna or Bonnie being in a walker and getting out there. And Joan, you also have some Montana connections.
You
All right, you are muted, so we can't hear your enthusiasm, but there you go.
And I said, and I'm going to send all the paper clips I can, and I'm going to call them up and tell them all about it. Even the
Oh,
ones in Canada, in Calgary and Okotoks and all of them.
excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Karen, did you have something you wanted to add?
Oh, of course. I just met Janice and Ollie a couple weeks ago, and we caught eyes from across the courtyard, and I thought, oh, I need to know those people. And I
Oh,
saw the hat, and I said, what an incredible logo. And Janice and I got together and had a talk and said, Janice, you need to be on this podcast. This podcast is the most popular podcast in Kitsap County. And you have to be here, and you and Ollie need to tell your story.
So
And on
the
Saturday, yeah,
the hat
here,
that you're wearing has a big paperclip on it,
yes,
and what's on the back of it?
it says resistance.
yours, yeah.
And
And-
I mean, you can't very well do anything in this country right now without some merch. So there you go.
Exactly. But I can't tell you how many people on Saturday during the march on our gathering downtown at the waterfront park that, where did you get that hat? What is the story behind that hat? I told that story over. I should have had pamphlets to hand out. And I said, well, go and read about it. And I put paperclip resistance in Norway, and you can read about it online. But I'm so happy that you have a website now, so
Yeah.
I can direct people to that. So I just am so privileged to get to know both of you. Incredible community leaders, and I love you.
Oh, right back at you. Thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah.
We love you too.
And Sheila, did you have a comment?
Oh, yeah, I sure did. I was so honored to meet these lovely people too, at cybersecurity meeting, which
That-
was very interesting. I thought it was really interesting meeting anyway. I was just wondering, are you networking with Indivisible, you guys, or are you, or with Kathleen Wallace, who is Bainbridge Indivisible? These are the folks that write the postcards, and I've been really, really involved with them, as has Karen. So she can tell you all about that kind of good stuff as
Yeah.
well. But I just wondered if are you going to try to network, because you do the same love stuff as Indivisible.
Yes, and you know, the great thing, Sheila, is all of these knit together, right? So we launched this in Paulsbo in Little Norway, where we were married 48 years ago at the Sons of Norway. In
my
our
gosh.
Norwegian, we were in our Norwegian dress. And so Pam and Claudia, who run Indivisible there, we have led marches in Paulsbo, and we go all of the time there. And we've met with Kathy on Bainbridge as well, and we march in the protests here. We try to find every crack that we can, and when it opens a
Yes.
little, we
Yes.
punch through. And my sister's doing the same thing in Montana, and so yes, we try to go to everything we can and talk to everyone, and combine our efforts. We are so impressed with what these men and women are doing. And if we stand shoulder to shoulder with all of you that are here today, we're in good company. So thank you.
Absolutely. And Janice, I don't know if you have time, but we do those postcards at TNC on Wednesday afternoons. You probably already know about that.
Yeah, I've been.
It's at 2:00.
Yeah.
And I know that Kathy would love to have you come up. I mean, you can come and do postcards, but at least come and talk to people and tell people the story.
Yeah.
It would be this Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. We had to, we're gonna go on a trip this Wednesday, but I've been up there and I've spoken to Kathy, and I've done postcards with her. So yeah, every chance we get, if we can get in there. So on Wednesdays, we'll try to do that again.
Fantastic. I think it would be good, but I'm sure there are a lot of people in there who might not know about you guys.
Yep. Yeah.
But blessings on you. Blessings on you. I'm just thrilled.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
Karen, back to you.
Just one more comment. It's that people like Janice and Ollie are bringing a community, and these are trying times. And maybe that's all we have is our community. And you two are such powerful catalysts and make us feel like we are part of something that's big, much bigger than us.
Mhm.
So I can't stress that enough, because we haven't seen the end of this, and I think we all know that.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
and we read the history, and so
Well-
we have to hold each other, and we have to, I've got you, you've got me, we've got each
yeah.
other.
We have you too.
Yeah.
We have all of you.
Yeah. So I
Well-
just want to let you know that the community is just the most important thing right now.
Mhm.
So I just want to let you know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We have you too, Reed.
Yeah, well, Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center, the name includes community. And one of the things that is inspiring about the work that you're doing is that it does not sound like it's interested in division. It's interested in unifying. It's
Yeah.
not interested in excluding people.
That's right.
And certainly paperclips are pretty easy to come by. It's a low entry way to sign in and say I'm part of a cooperative future.
That's
Exactly.
right. And a nonviolent one, Reed.
Yep.
Yep.
And we're taking the same tack that my sister doesn't even call it a protest. She calls it a rally. And she said, I'm here to support the senior center that lost its funding. We're here to support the vets. We're here to support the educators, the teachers. So that's kind of the way we're approaching this as well.
Right.
We're not against something, we're for something. And people can join in that support regardless of political views. How could someone not be for senior citizens? Eventually, we all make it to that realm. And so
And we
that-
find out that it's not such a bad place to be.
yeah, oh, the
I'll
best.
say
The best. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you too
Thank you.
for dropping by today and sharing your information and the website. And we'll look forward to following and participating as you take the story out.